Try fighting the law all you want, but the law is always going to win. From politicians and celebrities to sports figures and business leaders, they're fighting the law. Now, here to sort out the nation's top legal news stories is America's favorite legal analyst, Royal Oakes. This is the Royal Oakes Show.
Robbing people with a 6-gun. I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the law won.
Thank you, Mike Warren, and welcome to the Royal Oakes Show. And welcome to our co-host, Ken Jeffries. How you be today?
Hi there. What a week.
Doing well?
The news. Doing okay, yeah, fine.
How about you, Mr. Connor Oakes, Millennial Correspondent? How are you doing?
Doing very well. Getting by. You get a day off in the middle of the week for Thanksgiving. You can't complain about that. That's a golden week.
That
Did
was
you get through your tryptophan thing? Or
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
I sleptwalked through Friday at work, given how much turkey I ate.
When you say middle of the week, Connor, I mean, not to be fussy and overly precise, but wouldn't Wednesday actually be the middle of the week?
No, not to be fussy or imprecise, of course.
All right, it was a little bit fussy.
It's also hump day.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
that's another story.
My
So it
favorite.
was
A long story.
It was a nice holiday. We've got lots of top stories to get into. I'm intrigued by Roger Stone. Is he going to be the smoking gun that brings Donald Trump down? We're going to talk about this new development about his associate flipping and cooperating with Mueller, and it's all about whether or not the Trump folks, in the person of Roger Stone, knew about the WikiLeaks deal. WikiLeaks getting the
I have a
Russian
feeling Stone
hacked
knew
emails.
everything.
Well, that's what Mueller's after.
I think so.
And that really could be a big deal for
Absolutely.
Trump. We're also going to talk about the feud between the Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court and the President. Very smart for the President to get into a fight. It's like the old story, you don't
Unbelievable.
pick a fight with the folks who buy ink by the barrel. You also don't pick a fight with the guy who's going to decide, I don't know, whether you go to prison or whether you lose all of
And
of
you don't
the
mess around with
collusion
Jim.
fights.
Jim Croce, actually.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Right.
So we're going to get into that. The Saudi murder. There's the issue of whether Trump is coddling killers. That's on the agenda. And Michael Avenatti, I love his slogan. He's got a very powerful slogan for this, going to help his presidential election campaign. The slogan is, "Believe all accusers except my accuser." So, you know,
Does that fit on a bumper sticker? I'm not sure.
foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds. That's going to be Michael Avenatti.
What we need is
Hobgoblin.
bigger bumper stickers.
That's right.
And we're also going to talk about Ivanka's emails. Well, funny. Nobody checked to see if she had a private email account that might be involved in the government confidential stuff. Well, why would that occur to anybody anyway? What an esoteric idea.
Bizarre. Almost like it really just doesn't matter at all.
So we got lots of top stories to get into. We're going to have our Moron of the Week feature, where we're going to have two very stupid people and vote at the end of the show on who's most moronic. One of them is a fellow who made a bomb threat in a very non-traditional way, and he's allegedly a moron. We're going to have our Guess the Verdict feature. We are with full force now. We've got our Jeopardy panel. One of our verdicts you're going to have to guess is about a clown who decided to fight the law, just like our theme song here. And our hot tub time machine feature will close the show out. I'll give you a hint about that. It has to do with the phrase "It's morning in America," and I don't mean morning with a U. I mean the happy kind of morning.
That slogan.
Okay.
That's right. So before we get to our top story, though, about Roger Stone bringing the president down, I have to ask you guys how you enjoyed the big pay-per-view deal with Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods yesterday. I'm sure you were glued to the set for the entire 5-hour extravaganza. What did you think, huh?
Hey, it was a 5-hour round of golf, 18 holes.
4 extra holes. They were tied after 18.
Oh, my
What
gosh.
drama, okay?
There's no way they could have engineered that. I mean, actually, it would be very hard to engineer.
So, you know what? I didn't see it. However,
I was assuming facts, not an evidence.
I
there. I kind of
assume-
had a hunch you guys...
I heard there
glued
was
to
a
the set.
technical glitch, and I can recall the immortal Howard Cosell saying something like, "Who goofed? I've got to know."
Got to know.
I've got to know.
Well, you know, there was a glitch, and it's kind of weird. It was a pay-per-view deal, so you're supposed to pay $19.99, and you can go online and sign up for your cable system, or you can watch it on your computer. And lots of people, millions of people, did in the days leading up to the match, and it went fine. The money went through fine. I decided at the last minute, like a half hour before it started on noon Friday, Eastern Pacific time, okay, I'm going to do it. And so I go online, and actually, I called you for help. You'll remember it well. I
Millennial
bothered
Tech
you
Support.
while you were at work. Yeah, Millennial Tech Support. I couldn't get him to take my money.
I couldn't get it either. Honestly, I think the website had just either crapped out from being overloaded,
it did.
and maybe they just gave up.
It did. There were articles in all the big newspapers this morning about the glitch. And can you imagine how somebody is going to get so fired because of the glitch? Because we're talking 20, 50, 100 million bucks just up in smoke.
In smoke. It's
yeah,
insane.
because I thought I was just being stupid as usual. Because, I find Amazon is so brilliant. It's so intuitive. I can buy anything I want, anytime I want with a couple of clicks. And I don't know about you, Ken. I don't know if you do much online buying.
My wife does some of that. Yeah, I don't.
So when I try to go on like Land's End or some other place, 5 times out of 10, I give up. And I start swearing at the computer because I can't close it out and buy a pair of jeans because they don't make it easy. And I'm thinking to myself, how stupid are these people? We live in this internet era. All they have to do is make it intuitive, hire some millennial.
You ever hear of going to the store and actually buying this stuff?
No.
You can't do that. Right?
Never do that.
And of course, we talked about it in the context of Black Friday and the big Thanksgiving weekend. And we were on KBC the other day talking about it. And I was saying, why would anybody go to the damn mall and trudge around and have to,
elbow people, grandma in the face?
Yeah, unless you're Roy Moore and you want to go to the mall.
And you're not
and you want to
meet
not
some,
just elbow, but he wants to use some other body part.
Right.
Anyway, other than that, why would anybody
I think there's something satisfying and visceral about finding that thing in the crowd of people who are all milling about looking for a TV.
There's a pony in there?
And yeah, you find the pony and you're, oh my gosh, I'm getting this great deal on it. You have it in your hands and you're sort of getting your way through the crowd. It's exciting. It's like a war story. You get to tell everyone about it later. That's Black Friday. If I go on Amazon's Black Friday and I say, okay, it's 10% cheaper, click.
By the way, there is a stat, and in fact, I think I heard it last night, but I can't recall it exactly, of how many people have been killed in the United States over the year due to Black Friday sales.
Seriously. That's pretty scary.
It's not zero.
So to finish out the incredibly interesting Phil Mickelson
of course.
Really?
I want to give you my take on this.
Bring it home.
I think they're kind of cheating. $9 million winner take all. That was the deal. Now they had like $200,000 challenge. Will Phil get a birdie on number 1? No, so he lost $200 to Tiger's charity. Who wins the longest drive contest on the 15th hole? They both were in the fairway bunker, so nobody won the $100,000. So they had side bets. But the fundamental bet is whoever won the overall match for the day got $9 million, and the loser got 0. Okay. So now we're on one of the playoff holes, and Tiger has a 4.5 to 5 foot putt to make a par, and he would, if he makes it, tie Phil Mickelson. What did Phil Mickelson do? He said, that's good. He conceded the putt, because in one of these match deals, if it's a 2-inch putt or a 2-foot putt, always the opponent says to the guy who is about to make the putt, it's good, you don't have to do it.
Right.
Okay. 4.5 feet, 5 feet.
That's missable.
Not only you and I and you can, but
anybody.
Pros do miss that occasion.
There could be an earthquake.
And these guys had missed shorter putts earlier today.
Oh, my God.
And what does Phil do? He says, that's good. And he says out loud, I don't want to win like that. And he was saying, I don't want to win $9 million because Tiger, 1 out of 10 times he's going to miss a 4.5 foot putt.
Right,
I don't want to win like that. And you say to yourself, wow.
That's literally the point.
Is Phil like the most generous person in the world? So here, I'm coming up on my theory.
Oh, yeah, conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat time.
Connor and I have been to some pro celebrity billiards tournaments because a friend of mine is a promoter of tournaments. And I've talked to people who run these tournaments. And you know what happens when 2 guys are in the finals and the final prize money is $10,000 and the other guy gets 0 or $10,000 and $2,000? They get together alone beforehand and they say we're splitting it. No matter who wins, we chop it in half. If you look at the face on Tiger Woods at the ceremony where Phil was getting the $9 million, and of course since it was Vegas they had the $9 million stacked up in glass cans, bottles. Tiger had a huge smile on his face. You think Tiger Woods is going to have a smile on his face after he has just lost $9 million?
The most competitive human being on the planet.
Yeah.
No.
I believe they each got $4.5 million. Now, Ken, I can't prove it.
Well, that's the thing. They don't always end up with 4.5 each. Sometimes people will say, okay, we're finals of a tournament of some kind, and we got $9 million out there to chop.
So you're saying it might not be 50-50.
Or how about it is 4 each, and we play for the last million?
Did it go to charity, or did it go to them personally?
Them personally. Yeah.
This
The
into the bank
challenges,
account.
the closest to the pin, the who has the longest drive on a certain hole, that went to charity. But the $9 million in their nearly
So
empty
they might have still been
pockets.
playing for millions of dollars.
Who put up this money?
I don't know.
Out of their own pockets.
Some
They went
really,
to
really
that.
rich guys.
No, the Trump casino or something.
I don't know. All right. I know people would like us to talk about golf the entire hour.
It's the golf podcast, right?
But doggone it, we're going to move on to the top.
By the way, you ever hear golf on radio? And I've heard this.
No.
And there's a
You'd
golf
have to be
channel.
a real serious
Well, I think there's a
fan.
golf channel on Sirius, and I heard him once. He's lining up his putts. He's lining up his putts.
Okay, Ken, again, I don't want to be fussy. I don't want to be picky here, but he doesn't line up his putts. He lines up his putt.
No, it's multiple. He's lining up both.
putt.
He's lining up this one and the next
Nobody
one.
lines up 2 putts at once. That's
he's a
like
very
Bobby
skilled
Fischer
golfer.
playing 20 chess games
Well, I wanted to
at
get
once.
the joke in
Which
there.
he does.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
There's a pony in there
There's
somewhere.
a pony in there somewhere.
All right, so this may not seem like the hot story of the week, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out to be like the first step toward bringing Trump down, if Mueller can bring him down. So here's the deal. There's a guy named Roger Stone. He is a political operative. He's a dirty tricks guy. And what he was a Nixon fan to the point where he worshipped Nixon. He's still got giant pictures of Nixon on the wall. The fact that Nixon, obstructed justice and lied and was forced to
Resign in shame.
that not a problem for Roger Stone.
No.
Roger is as hardcore, right-wing, dirty trickster as they come.
As you can imagine.
So he works with a guy named Jerome Corsi. Jerome Corsi and Stone are working for Trump in the 2016 campaign. And so what does Stone tweet?
They hire the best people, by the way. Only the best people.
In August 2016, Roger Stone tweets, "It will soon be Podesta's time in the barrel." Well, how does he know it's going to be Podesta's time in the barrel? Well, what had happened was that Corsi, the associate for Stone, had claimed that he had a theory that the Russian-hacked emails from the Democratic National Committee that found their way into Wikipedia's hands,
WikiLeaks, yes.
WikiLeaks' hands, would be revealed to the detriment of the Democrats in October. It'd be an October surprise. Now, we had one October surprise, a big one in this election, as you remember, when Access Hollywood came out, the Billy Bush candidate.
Yes.
And I think people are still, by the way, to digress a moment, still are asking themselves, how is it that the Billy Bush campaign, the Billy Bush tape came out when it did, which is something like October 10, which is 3 or 4 days before a big debate between Hillary and Trump.
Right.
Have you, Ken, you've reported on the campaign extensively. Did you hear any theories as to how it is that because that tape was years and years old?
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
It suggests that some Democrats got together with some Access Hollywood people and decided
but it
this
wouldn't
is
be
the
Roger
maximum
Stone
time.
behind it.
No. This would be on the other side.
on the other side.
I mean, that's in my mind. The question isn't really did Democrats sandbag this until October. It's could they have sandbagged it longer for greater impact, and maybe actually had any impact at all because it didn't seem to work.
That's funny.
It didn't work.
It's funny
Given
that it's
to
not the
me.
question in your mind, because
It
in
seems
my
like-
mind, it's a big question.
Well,
I'd like to know how it is.
I just agree with you 100%.
I don't know.
The Democrats
By the way,
definitely had it early
didn't
and
Roger
sandbagged
Stone
it.
also say it's Al Franken's turn in the barrel, and he knew
Maybe.
a little bit beforehand before that was published?
Could be. I don't know. All right, so let's get back to Roger Stone. He and his pal Jerome Corsi seem somehow to have a sense that there's going to be an October surprise of these really wild emails about Podesta, that really helped sink Hillary's ship, because thousands of emails were produced every single day during October, starting about October 10, right around the time of the Billy Bush deal. And how did that happen? If it can be established that Roger Stone was in cahoots with the WikiLeaks people, with the Russians who gave the emails to WikiLeaks, I mean, that puts Roger in big-time trouble. Then the question will be, does it also put Donald Trump in big-time trouble? Is there going to be a link to Donald Trump? I don't know.
There's a strong link, I think, between Stone and Trump.
Oh, there's definitely the strong link. When we get back, we're going to talk about whether there is a feud between the president and the Chief Justice. Stay with us.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show.
Were you scammed into signing a timeshare contract? And did you miss the part that said you have to pay for your great idea? Not only for the rest of your life, but when you're not here anymore, you get to pass this turkey onto your family for them to pay for the rest of their lives. Thanks, Dad. Don't burden your family down the road, and don't be stuck with expensive timeshare payments forever. Get out of your bad idea timeshare contract guaranteed, or pay nothing. Call Resort Release today and learn for free how their timeshare exit team can help you legally exit your timeshare contract. They've helped thousands of people, and they're A+ rated with a BBB. So if you feel scammed, get mad and get out of your expensive timeshare contract right now, guaranteed. Call NOW.
800-716-9903. 800-716-9903. 800-716-9903. That's 800-716-9903.
Welcome to your island home away from home at Kaanapali Beach Hotel. Relax and unwind on 11 acres of tropical gardens by the whale-shaped pool or in a beachfront cabana. Enjoy your favorite ocean activities, culture activities, and free nightly entertainment. A perfect setting for weddings, honeymoons, family vacations, or just a weekend getaway. Experience aloha at its best at Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel. Call 661-0011 or visit kbhmaui.com and let us welcome you and your ohana to ours.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Enjoy Tiki Live, the best cable alternative choice today, with hundreds of premium live TV programming, including ESPN, CNN, Fox News, Disney, AMC, Bravo, XF, OWN, and CRN Talk. Plus, no contracts and low month-to-month service. Tiki Live, servicing North America, including the Caribbean. To get started, visit TikiLive.com to order hundreds of channels, including CRN Talk, at a fraction of what you're paying today. Visit TikiLive.com. That's TikiLive.com.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries and our millennial correspondent Connor Oakes. And before we get to the feud between the President and the Chief Justice, we have our Moron of the Week feature. Moron number one, candidate number one, is a guy named Arthur Posey. He's 30 years old. He's from New Orleans, Louisiana. And he was arrested for a bomb threat. He said he was going to blow up a restaurant. He said, y'all about to close right now because I'm going to get a bomb and blow this place up. He asked the manager, when did the place close? And the manager said, 10 o'clock. Well, you better close right now. I'm going to get a bomb and blow this place up. So he was arrested, charged with making a bomb threat. When the police questioned him, guys, he had an explanation of sorts. He said, there's a misunderstanding. When I said I had a bomb, I meant I was going to blow the bathroom up, and I was referring to an anticipated bowel movement.
Oh, boy.
This is Willie's Chicken Shack in New Orleans, Louisiana. He was charged with 2 counts of communicating false information of planned arson. So, I don't know.
What about a stink bomb, I guess, right?
Do you think I'm being too hard on him and calling him a candidate for Moron of the Week? I mean, perhaps he just legitimately was having some gastrointestinal distress and
sometimes
poor choice of words.
What did he say precisely?
Yeah, we need the exact wording. The guy's got a strong New Orleans accent.
Quote, y'all about to close right now because I'm going to get a bomb and blow this place up.
Yeah,
and then he told the police, when I said
words.
blow the bathroom up, I was referring to the bowel movement.
Is there a menu item called da bomb? Because if he said, I'm going to go in there and get da bomb and then blow this place up.
This is the bomb, you know.
I've had gone to lots of places where they have like a hot dog on the menu that says it's called the bomb.
Well, however you look at it, I believe he belongs at least on the list.
He's in the running.
No, he needs to definitely be on a list.
Moron of the week candidates. Second story we wanted to get
Maybe
into.
the no-fly list would be good, because I've been on some airplanes, and if you're in the back, near the...
you don't want to be there. Yeah, you don't want to...
So the feud between the president and the chief justice. So the background everybody knows is basically from day one of the Trump administration, Democrats were smart enough to say, well, you know what, we're kind of screwed. We don't have the White House. We don't have the Senate or the House. We don't have the Supreme Court. But by God, we've got a pen and a briefcase, and we can file for an injunction. And if you find a federal judge anywhere in the United States to issue a national injunction, you can shut down the travel ban nationally or there's some immigration thing at the border. And so they were very successful. And part of the reason they were successful is because they went to the Ninth Circuit, and they'd start out with the federal district court judge in the Ninth Circuit. It would work its way up to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and they'd win. And Trump was tearing his hair out. And he doesn't have a lot left to tear out.
That's true.
So he starts talking about this person is an Obama judge, and the Ninth Circuit is despicable. And whereas Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she couldn't hold back a year or two ago. She actually criticized the president pretty seriously and got some blowback for that. The Chief Justice, John Roberts, has held his tongue until the last week or so. And finally he just said, I got to go public. And he said, there's no such thing as an Obama judge or a Clinton or a Bush judge. There are federal judges who put that black robe on, and they are fair-minded. And the president, of course, took the bait, and now he's got a Twitter war. And I imagine the chief is probably thinking, what did I get myself into? Do I have to keep going back and forth? He's probably going to stay silent.
Smart.
So what do you think about this? Do you think, first of all, is it kind of stupid for the president to get into a Twitter war with a guy who's the decider? Because, we got 4 liberals and 4 conservatives, and in the middle we got the Chief Justice. And secondly, is there anything to what Trump says in the sense that, is there such a thing as an Obama judge? Do you look to the appointer of the judge and say, well, I guess that judge does tend to tilt toward the person who appointed him?
I mean, of course it's stupid. This is moron of the year candidate stuff for Trump. It's unbelievably dumb.
A decade, right?
Yeah, exactly. Roberts was handing Trump a gift on a silver platter. This statement by Roberts, where he says there's no such thing as an Obama judge or a Trump judge, is providing extremely powerful and legitimizing political cover for when Trump wants to force through whatever policies he wants through this newly installed Supreme Court that now has Gorsuch on it and has Kavanaugh on it. And now when Trump gets whatever he wants through that, he gets to go back and look and say, look, I don't even like those guys. They say, look, it's not partisan, it's totally neutral and totally fair. And all Trump had to do was say, wow, thank you so much, Mr. Chief Justice, for handing me this gift, and everything I do in the future is strengthened and legitimized. And that's exactly what the Chief Justice was saying. Oh no, they're putting Kavanaugh on here. People aren't thinking the Supreme Court is really fair-minded and even. They're going to view it as a conservative body, so I should make a statement, and that'll further legitimize us. And then Trump just steps in it and goes the complete opposite way and blows up his own ability to just take advantage of this gift he was given. It makes no sense.
Your point is what now? No, I'm kidding.
My point is Trump doesn't actually care about enacting his conservative agenda or any of these policies. He cares about his public opinion polls on every individual day. He cares about crafting an angry Twitter post that his Twitter followers will click like on a lot. He just does not care about the political machinations. Unfortunately, every other Republican seems to, and they're taking advantage of Trump to push down all this terrible stuff that I hate.
Well, when we come back, we're going to find out if Connor also has an opinion about whether or not these judges actually do tilt one way or another based on who appointed them. So stick with us here on The Royal Oak Show.
We'll be back on CRN with The Royal Oak Show.
Hey, Lorraine, do you realize that your mother, my mother-in-law, Chef Maria, has been serving Las Vegas since 1949?
Yes, I do, Dennis. That's when she first met Howard Hughes, who fell in love with her cooking.
And in 1955, she opened her first restaurant on Fremont Street.
Yes, dear. And another great customer was Liberace.
Wow. Then in 1962, while Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack were causing global excitement on the Las Vegas Strip, your family opened their second restaurant.
And in 1970, 1972, Elvis Presley began electrifying Las Vegas audiences and eating in our restaurants.
You know, Lorraine, this is quite a town. There's only one Las Vegas.
And there's only one Bootlegger Italian Bistro.
Folks, when you're in Las Vegas, come visit us. We'll make you feel like you're part of our family.
The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, conveniently located at 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard, South Strip. Visit our website at www.bootleggerlasvegas.com.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644. 800-915-2644. 800-915-2644. 800-915-2644.
Still got those annoying critters? I'm talking bees and fleas, spiders, ants, roaches, bed bugs, and those disgusting rodents. Have you made that call to Dewey Pest Control yet? What's holding you back? Get rid of them, and I mean right now. When the heat brings them out, it's time to call Dewey, because Dewey knocks them down and keeps them out. Dewey's an 89-year Heritage California family business with 32 offices statewide. Think you got those 24/7 wood-munching termites chewing up your house? Call Dewey right now for their free inspection. And all this month, get $89 off with a regular maintenance program. Call 800-209-0900. That's 800-209-0900. Just one call to Dewey does it all. 800-209-0900. Or get your free inspection online at DeweyRadio.com. That's Dewey, D-E-W-E-Y, DeweyRadio.com.
Destination, South Point. 11 great restaurants, bingo, bowling, movies, race books, sports books, spa, live entertainment, oversized rooms, and the rates unbeatable. The South Point Las Vegas. Book now. Online at southpointcasino.com or call 866-791-7626. southpointcasino.com or call 866-791-7626. At the South Point Las Vegas, you're always a winner.
CRN listeners, don't forget What's Cooking in Wine with certified wine educator and master sommelier Michael Jordan, coming your way every Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Time right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio. Find out about the latest trends in wine, food, and the good lifestyle. And by the way, Michael Jordan can talk to those of you that are really into wine and those that are maybe just discovering wine. The great educator Michael Jordan and What's Cooking on Wine Friday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific on CRN.
Here we go. Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries and
By the time
Connor Oakes.
I get the Phoenix.
So, I actually kind of want to get your take. You mentioned off the air about the fact that these judges are lifetime appointments, unlike state court judges or justices who have to stand for re-election every 5-10 years, whatever. It's unusual. It's not a typical 2 or 4 years like the congressmen or governors, but they're lifetime on the federal side. And we have seen a lot of examples of folks appointed by a president, a Republican president, who've ended up very liberal. So in your mind, do you not worry about federal judges sort of tilting toward the philosophy of the guy who appointed them?
It's kind of... I worry about it. I mean, because now the stakes are so high, supposedly, and everything's so politicized. Yeah, I do now. And, years ago, too, I think I did as well. And I think it's because this whole thing of Roe versus Wade was decided in court. Yeah. And it's not it's not a congressional action or anything like that. It was decided in court. And the court, I guess Congress can take it away, too. The court giveth and the court can taketh away.
Well, I mean, when people ridicule Trump for saying, oh, he's an Obama judge, in a way, you're sympathetic to the criticism because he's just venting and he's angry because he lost. Right. But, I mean, is it a coincidence that the 4 liberals in the United States Supreme Court who consistently vote liberal positions were all appointed by Democrats, and the 4 conservatives, other than Chief Justice Roberts, because we've got 4 pretty solid conservatives now, were all appointed by Republican presidents, and they almost always. I mean, so is it stupid to infer?
No, it's not stupid.
So in what? I mean,
it's not. It's but there's got to be. I was going to say it's got to be a middle ground, but I'm not sure what that is.
Chief Justice Roberts is the middle ground. He took over the swing vote.
In a way, I wouldn't. You can't even really describe the guy as that much of a middle ground guy.
He saved Obamacare twice.
He sure did. You're right. But you're right. I mean, the real issue that we're all sort of dancing around, I think, and not touching on directly, is when a president appoints somebody, they are looking for somebody not just of their political persuasion, but hopefully who is intellectually consistent and honest and will examine issues fairly. And when somebody you put on the court has been hiding their true political positions, or their political positions change, I think that kind of in our minds, in the back of our minds, sort of casts into doubt the idea that, well, if this person we've been evaluating their past looking for intellectual consistency and honesty and straightforwardness and critical strength of analysis, and their political opinions change, maybe their strength of, intellectual rigor is also going to shift or change. Maybe these people are going to get lax in their critical analysis.
I think that's a good point.
Accommodate their own political persuasion, which is fluctuating.
And I think, in a sense, it's refreshing to see, as much as I was unhappy with Souter coming out with all sorts of wacko progressive decisions year after year, in a way it's refreshing that he felt free because it was a lifetime appointment, and he knew he didn't have to be reappointed or face the voters. It was refreshing to see him behave in a way that showed some independence, and that's what we want. I don't think we want public opinion polls to try, and we've seen some trial court judges bounced out because, he gave O.J. custody of O.J.'s kids, or, he gave a light sentence to some criminal who most in the public felt should get a bigger sentence. So, so that's a problem.
And as a reminder, you said Souter, a Bush appointee who went very liberal. Though that hasn't happened very much in the last couple of decades, but it has happened. It has happened a lot.
Earl Warren, of course, famously was called by Eisenhower the biggest damn fool mistake I ever made. I think I confused a Reagan impression with Eisenhower. Nobody does an Eisenhower impression.
Really good.
Hey, this is breaking news time on the Royal Oak Show. We don't have to just go down the line of our planned topics. Connor, during the break, you informed me of something breaking. Harvard and Yale scientists have come up with the solution to the climate change problem. Tell us about it.
Pack it up, folks. We're done. We don't need to innovate or save energy or water or not drive our cars anymore, because these Harvard and Yale scientists want to, as reported by CNN.
And they got to be smart. They're Harvard and Yale scientists.
Exactly. They want to dim the sun.
Yes.
I had dim sum the other day at the Chinatown.
We are more willing to mess with...
Thank you, Ken, for keeping it on a high plane. People out there are just sweating bullets about climate change killing us, and Ken's immediate response...
I just thought of dim sum. I'm sorry.
Thought of dim sum.
I just love the idea that we are so unbelievably addicted to fossil fuels and entrenched in the current iteration of capitalism that we can think of no better solution. It's not that we're not going to drive our cars, or we're going to drive electric cars, or we're going to build solar panels.
So quick to dump on this. Why
we're going to screw with the sun.
Now, how exactly do they plan to dim the sun?
So they plan. It's kind of not really dimming the sun. They're spraying chemicals. They plan to spray chemicals into the upper atmosphere that will bounce back, reflect.
Fossil fuel-based chemicals,
sunlight.
I hope?
Oh, of course.
Coal?
And what could go wrong, right? What could go wrong with the idea of filling our atmosphere with mysterious chemicals that will interact with sunlight?
Well, I joke about fossil fuel, but doesn't China already have the solution to climate change then? Because when you go to Beijing, you can barely see the sun because of the smog.
Perfect. Except those unfortunate chemicals act like greenhouse gases that let sunlight into the atmosphere and trap it, as opposed to bouncing it back at the top levels of the atmosphere.
Speaking of climate change, there was a report released as we do the show on Friday night, and it's probably referred to as a Friday night news dump in a way.
Yeah.
Because, and I think it
is that like our moron number one?
Yeah. Exactly. Did it come from? I think it came from the White House itself.
It did.
And debunked everything that Trump said about climate change.
And that's why they released it on Black Friday when nobody's looking, and they just said, oh, don't worry about this. If you don't want to read the report, have you seen that Mel Gibson movie, Apocalypto? That's kind of what it sounds like when you read the thing. It's unbelievably grim.
Okay, here's my suggestion.
Yeah, hit me.
You get the 100 smartest climate change scientists in the world in a room.
Right.
You give them a polygraph test.
Yeah.
And you get rid of the ones with biases. You find out through your magic lie detector machine which ones have a secret progressive bias, which ones are on the payroll of the oil companies.
Right.
And so now you've got 10 or 15 of the smartest climate change people in the world who you have convinced yourself do not actually have a bias. And you put them in a room and you pay them millions of dollars. They come back with a solution, and we implement that solution. Now, what's wrong with that idea?
There's nothing wrong with that idea.
Yes.
Except polygraphs don't work. And we haven't said like this whole scientific
We don't know. They're
method
like
thing.
95% valid. Because they're not 100. We don't send you to prison for 20 years based on polygraph.
By the way, who did the study that's saying they're 95% valid?
I don't know, but I've heard that number several times.
You've heard the number.
15 smartest scientists.
People have said, right?
Some people say. Yeah. That's right. Sure. Next story is the Saudi murder, Khashoggi, the Washington Post.
If the climate doesn't kill us, Trump will. Got it.
So the idea is Trump is allegedly coddling the Saudis just because they're sitting on a whole bunch of oil. Now, on the other hand, apparently the CIA's evidence, I haven't read all sorts of white papers on this, but as I read in the general press, the CIA's evidence that the Saudi prince is behind it is based on the way he rolls, the way things generally operate in Saudi Arabia, as opposed to a smoking gun about a memo by the Saudi prince saying, okay, go kill the guy.
Well, there is the audio recording of the Saudi prince saying, effectively, won't someone rid me of this meddlesome priest, when he says, silence Khashoggi.
And there's
That's pretty on the nose.
Supposedly there's an audio recording of the actual murder and slaughter.
That too. Trump didn't want to listen to that. He felt like it would be upsetting. He just said, I kind of know what it sounds like to kill somebody. Been in the room a lot.
So how? Okay, so here's the question. Here's then the question. How do we feel about the fact that Trump allegedly is coddling a murderer? Some people would say, well, I'm not surprised. Remember that 60 Minutes interview a couple of years ago where Trump was confronted with the fact that you're pretty friendly with Putin, and Putin is kind of a thug and a KGB guy and basically a murderer. Yeah. And Trump's response was, well, I don't know why you think we're so innocent here. We got plenty of murderers in America, and you know, your head is exploding.
Right.
Is our president really saying that? Yeah. But then you think about, what about Richard Nixon? He, for decades, devoted his life to fighting communism, and he chronicled the fact that Mao Zedong was basically the biggest mass murderer of the 20th century. I mean, he made Hitler's 6 million Jews killed. That number is so small compared to the 70 million that Mao is responsible for killing. And yet, Nixon goes over there and toasts him and talks about the revolutionary spirit, all in the interest of geopolitics and, we want balance of power, we want to sort of mess with the Russians' heads. So if that's okay, if it's okay to coddle a tyrant, a dictator who's a mass murderer, and people were all right with that, then why is it so terrible for Trump to look the other way at some evidence that the Saudi prince might have been responsible for the killing?
Well, I think you bring up a very good point, that we're going to have to deal with people who are scumbags in international relations all the time.
We do all the time.
Yeah, how do you deal with North Korea?
We were friends with Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, absolutely. Enemies, right? And there's this enemy of my enemy is my friend situation, and politics is messy. Really, really, really messy. But when you have an opportunity to lay bare the facts with the information that we have, which is pretty darn good. We've got the video of the guy walking in. We've got the audio of it actually happening. We've got the audio of it being ordered. We've got people, a team of people sent in with hacksaws to do it. It's so obvious and so clear. This is an opportunity to stake a claim down, stake a flag down and say, this is wrong. This is not how you treat a free press. This is not how you treat your own citizens. This is certainly not how you treat legal U.S. Residents who we afford some amount of protection when they live here. This is an opportunity to do the right thing, and Trump's downside scenario is not, well, we need to reach out to China, I'm Nixon, and we need to make sure that China and America don't end up in a war. It's, I want a made-up number of billions of dollars from Saudi Arabia to flow into the U.S. in a way that he doesn't really understand, because he doesn't really understand trade. And in fact, that made-up number of hundreds of billions of dollars is total nonsense. It's really like $14.5 billion, which is like the footnote of a footnote of a footnote in our budget. It's nothing. It's basically Trump just saying, yet again, just like you said about with Putin, hey, he's an authoritarian. I respect a guy like that. I respect an authoritarian guy with real cojones who just murders people because he gets things done and he doesn't get criticized and he's not weak. And Trump is obsessed. He's a narcissist. He's obsessed with not appearing weak. And so he's looking up to the schoolyard bullies.
Yep. Well, let's move from one guy on the GQ list of best-dressed people, the Saudi prince, to Michael Avenatti. I'm sure he's gotten that honor.
Oh, boy.
Now, I've got a little tidbit here. I was in the doctor's office recently, and I was informed by the physician I was visiting. He said, I know you're interested in the news here. Guess who we saw at a Mexican restaurant in La Cañada, California the other night, having dinner with Michael Avenatti? Mark Garagos. Ooh. So I assume that Michael Avenatti is wised up, and he realizes he needs some high-quality criminal defense representation.
Garagos would represent him.
The legal field is so small.
Why not? Yeah.
It's so small and local and friendly.
Things might not have worked out for Winona Ryder and Scott Peterson, but... And I know that Michael Jackson fired Mark Garagos, but Garagos is the man to see. I mean, he's sort of the modern day F. Lee Bailey. Yeah. So here's a Michael Avenatti issue. One thing is good for Michael. It's been downgraded from felony to misdemeanor, the domestic abuse charge. But are you troubled by the fact that when he was representing Ms. Swetnick, who I think was claiming that Kavanaugh was involved in rapes, his attitude was, we believe survivors. You got to believe the accusers. Are you okay with the fact that he is having a different approach with respect to his own personal accuser? Is there any kind of hypocrisy here that might derail his promising presidential campaign?
I think his promising presidential campaign has been fully derailed by this point, and I have no problem.
Name identification is good, though.
Frighteningly, that is yes, that is a fact. But I feel like his chances are shot by this. His chances were really badly harmed when he made that boneheaded comment saying, well, our next presidential candidate for the Democrats should be a white male. As though,
I missed that. He said that?
Yeah, that's what got the progressives.
What was he thinking? What was his explanation?
His explanation was they tore Hillary apart. Basically, he didn't say any of this, but it's implied. Yeah. They tore Hillary apart, and so we should put up a white man. Our next president candidate should be a white, i.e. me.
What a jerk.
Right? So yeah, it's so dumb of him to say throw it, because who's on his side, right? Who is on Avenatti's side? Ultra liberals. We on the way left, the super progressive people. Who's going to reject that comment and say this guy has shown that he doesn't have the judgment to be our guy moving forward? We're all going to flee back to Bernie Sanders or whatever. So it was just so dumb, so boneheaded. I think his chances of becoming the darling of the left were gone before that. I don't have a problem with him saying believe survivors and then turning around and fighting these accusations himself, because I think when people say believe survivors, everybody kind of misinterprets it. It doesn't mean as soon as someone makes an accusation, all inquisition and inquiry stops and we just say, okay, well, now the accusation's been made and Trump should resign as a result of somebody accusing him and blah, blah, blah. It's that you should have the default setting be understanding how difficult it is and how life-ruining it is to make one of these accusations and all the hate you're going to receive, and that indicates truthfulness, not the other way around, and then proceed normally with figuring out the truth of the matter.
All right, let's move to Ivanka. How stupid is the Trump administration to not, on day one, after all the crap they justifiably gave Hillary Clinton about destroying 31,000 emails, and Hillary and her lawyers decided which ones got destroyed, and the good, legitimate, confidential stuff she handed over, after giving them all of this trouble. And that was, I mean, without the emails, let's face it, she would have won the presidency. How is it that the Trump administration on day one didn't say, oh, gosh, we got to make sure that none of us does the kind of thing that Hillary did? Because apparently Ivanka did the same thing, and maybe not the same number of
What about Jared? And I wonder about that, too, because he's involved Middle East peace,
subway guy?
Prison reform. Yeah, no.
Jared in a good way.
Jared
in a good way.
Jared in a good way.
Yeah. No, you're right. I've read that
guy.
he and Ivanka basically had the same approach. They had a private server. They dealt with a lot of government folks and a lot of government business. But how in the world didn't they have somebody that could say, we got to make sure we don't step in it the way Hillary did?
Okay. if we were to try and rank the stupidity of the Trump administration and everyone in it on a scale from 1 to 10, where 1 is your dumb cousin who you just saw at Thanksgiving, said something stupid about politics at the dinner table and started a terrible conversation, and 10 would be like somebody falling out a window because they're the dumbest human on the planet, would you put them at more like a 20 or more like a 30?
Yeah. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Right.
Maybe add 20 and 30.
Connor,
that's the answer.
To set the record straight, every single family member of Ken's at the Thanksgiving dinner was brilliant and scintillating. Okay,
sure
there weren't any.
You were there, weren't you?
There weren't any. I'm giving your family the benefit of the doubt. Okay. I'm sure they're like you, Ken.
Yeah.
So. All right, when we come back, we are going to deal with our second Moron of the Week candidate. We are going to have our Hot Tub Time Machine segment. So stick with us here on the Royal Oak Show.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show. You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain, pain from a sports injury. If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com. 310-873-4422.
When you really want Italian food, you have got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Now, indulgers of plenty and good fortune, this is a call to action. It's holiday party time. You have been assigned the awesome responsibility of planning the Christmas gathering. No gnashing of teeth, no worries. It's time for the very best office get-together ever at Columbo's. Good Time Central, 323-254-9138. Jazz every night. Columbo's family award-winning Italian recipes coming to life and award you with an abundance of yummy, mouth-watering steaks, the freshest fish, and the world's greatest meatballs, all for a mere pittance. Party time at Columbo's, 323-254-9138. Make your reservations now. Columbo's, that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. The holiday office party at Columbo's. Manja.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries, our millennial correspondent Connor Oakes. Our Moron of the Week feature, candidate number 1, a few minutes ago, was a man who was arrested for a bomb threat, and he said, well, when I said I'm going to drop a bomb, he was referring to going to the bathroom. So that's number 1. Here's candidate number 2, a Pennsylvania mom in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Her name is Sharice Jones. Her 12-year-old boy refused to go to the dentist, and she wanted him to go. He climbs on the hood of her car to get away from her. She drives 2 miles to the dental office at 40 miles an hour.
40?
With him on the hood of the car because he would not get down. And she said, look, you need to get your
I'm concerned about you.
Prophylaxis. Now, a few years ago, we had the little boy with
dental issues can be
a
serious.
A pistol on the dentist to force him to take his braces off. So this mom was arrested for child endangerment. What do you think? Who's the biggest moron? The guy that had the bomb threat at Willie's Chicken Shack or the mom?
I've had some Chicken Shack intestinal issues, disputes.
Oh, so you're biased.
In my mind.
You're
So,
biased.
yeah, I'm biased. I'll have to recuse myself. No, so I can relate to this guy. I get it, man. I get it. I don't have the strong New Orleans accent. I don't have the flavor for metaphor that he brings to the table.
Right.
But I get what he was trying to say, and I respect him. So I'm going to have to go with the kid murdering mom who drove 40 miles an hour with a kid on the hood for his mental health.
It'd be funny if he went for braces and the mother would say, "Brace yourself."
Brace yourself.
It's not funny at all, of course.
So
the
you
mother.
agree with Connor?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I do too. Let's make it unanimous.
Unanimous for once.
Hey, we got our Guess the Verdict feature here. I'm going to give you a couple of cases, see if you can guess the outcome. 26-year-old Corey McDonald is a professional clown. He walks the streets of Santa Cruz, California in costume.
That sounds right, yeah.
Feeding nearly expired parking meters to help folks.
Oh.
The city council sues him for depriving the city of much-needed revenue in the form of traffic ticket proceeds. All right? Who wins? Mr. Twister is his name. Mr. Twister is
Chubby Checker, I think.
Yeah, real name is Corey McDonald. He twists balloons. He's a professional clown. And who wins? Does he win, or is the city of Santa Cruz those evil bastards?
I don't think the city of Santa Cruz can win on this one. He's giving them money.
What do you say?
Yeah, clown wins because he's within the law. He can do it.
No, there's a local ordinance.
Whoa!
You can't fill somebody else's meter. Takes money out of the coffers of the city.
Well, city council are morons of the year. Then.
Yeah.
Case number 2, an L.A. strip club installs a shower on stage as part of a dancer's act. City officials order the shower removed, saying it violated the Americans with Disabilities Act since it wasn't accessible to shower dancers who might need wheelchairs. The club sues, saying, "Yeah, this is silly." What do you think? What do you think?
Did they try to install it as though it were a shower for public use?
It's just for the performer, not for public use. No.
So the stage,
the glass walls, and the chairs around the glass walls.
Flash dance.
Yeah. So the stage was otherwise ADA accessible, if not for the addition of the shower.
Yeah, I guess.
Wow,
so.
that's I mean. Yeah, well, I think they lose because it's not ADA accessible, which is hilarious. But I think I'm just impressed that the stage was otherwise wheelchair accessible. Good on you.
Yeah, I agree. Fine.
Where's the strip club so we can check it out for the show? For the story.
Well, I just don't know. I can't give them any free advertisements. But you guys are absolutely.
We have a
right.
research budget, right, for the show? Is it in singles?
Yeah, we'll get you. We'll fund that. So our Hot Tub Time Machine feature is an advertisement for the president in 1984, and it's a contrast to sort of the rough and tumble Trump image. Let's fire it up, please, Matt.
It's morning again in America. Today, more men and women will go to work than ever before in our country's history. With interest rates at about half the record highs of 1980. Nearly 2,000 families today will buy new homes.
Walter Mondale is the
more
Democrat,
than at any time in the past 4
hapless
years.
Democrat who's about to go down to defeat 49 states.
This afternoon, 6,500 young men and women will be married.
Announcer
And with inflation at less than half of what it was just 4 years ago,
you should vote for Ronald Reagan.
they can look forward with
re-elect him as
confidence
president.
to the future.
Is this a kinder, gentler approach than the politics?
Yeah, and he's explaining economic indicators.
Divisiveness that we have today. This is fabulous. See you next week, folks, on the Royal Oak Show.
Which was most appropriate because that was your theme.
Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio shows